I do believe that there's been a culmination of the struggle, and that more and more Americans have said, you know what? Those folks are people too and should have the same rights. I mean, we had a very challenging in 2004 battle over marriage in Kentucky. And sadly, a majority of Kentucky voted to write into the Kentucky Constitution that a same-gender couple cannot get married. Very hard to overturn, and probably it's going to only be through the courts to overturn. But in that time, since 2004, so many more Kentuckians believe it's not a big deal. So what if people love each other? They should be able to marry. And to me, that is not just happening out of the blue. It's a culmination of the struggles, not just of the gay rights movement, but of the labor movement and the civil rights movement and the anti-war movements, that they're all connected, because we learn from each other that indeed you can fight City Hall, and indeed you can fight the State House, and indeed you can change things on a national level.
What about the recent Supreme Court decision not to take up these challenges to gay marriage in Indiana and some other places? Are you surprised by the Roberts Court? What do you?
Well, you know, I think a lot of us thought that there would be more of a decision, that there would be a little more clarity, but I think the more folks have analyzed it, it feels like the signs are pointing towards that they are going to, you know, overturn the rules against, the laws against marriage.
Here's a question.
And honor the decisions made.
Do you think for some people moving on gay rights is easier than moving on civil rights, because so many people have gay members of their families they can't separate? Do you think that there's any connection, like has the gay rights movement, the progress, do you think it's been somehow even not easy, but easier than some of the intractable problems on race? How would you see that?
You know, I think that family connection is a really good point. You know, they say, well, everybody has someone gay in their family, they just may not know it yet. You know, and I think there is a certain truth to that, or people have gay coworkers, or etc. I also do think it's part of the way that race and racism are institutionalized into the very marrow of this country's history and its continuation. For instance, you look at disproportionately people of color are in prison. That is not because people of color do more bad stuff than white people. In fact, when it comes to drugs, white people use drugs at an equal, or perhaps even, the statistics show, a slightly higher rate than people of color do. But who is in prison? It's people of color. I think that the issue of race is so entwined systemically that it is going to be a harder one for us to unravel. And part of my commitment is to continue that some of that energy around the gay rights movement, that we say, we're not done yet. As long as there's racism, as long as there's economic oppression, we haven't finished the human rights agenda or the civil rights agenda, because it is all interconnected. How can we say, let's say we win gay marriage totally, and then people say, oh, well, that was my issue, I'm done with that. If I have a lesbian sister who is also black, who matters to me, how can I say, well, I fixed the marriage thing for you, what are you complaining about? If I'm not challenging racism, I'm saying, sister, you're on your own for that one. I can't do that. And I hope that many of us can't do that, that we say, wow, we have to open the doors wide enough. So whether you are oppressed because of color or sexuality or gender or disability or gender identity or nationality, whatever it is, that we say we all want to go through those justice doors and we don't want to leave each other behind. I don't think it's the right way to do it.